Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another stream and another chapter. Working on this guy here. That's our 144th scale B1-B Lancer. So I'll roll the intro and we'll get started, shall we? Well guys, we're starting another chapter today. Got some stuff done a little bit off camera. I'll show you guys that. But the one thing I want to get started on today is working on our little clear canopy. Okay, this is what I want to do. First off, right off the bat, I want to do the smoke color on it, because from what I've seen, the glass on these things is not just crystal clear, it's got a kind of a yellowy smoke to it. So I've got my LP69 clear yellow and I've got my X26 clear orange. I'm actually not sure if the X series paints can mix with the LP series. LP I know is lacquer and the X is acrylic. So I don't know how they're going to go together. I'm going to find out though. Okay, so I want to put maybe just put a drop of the orange into the yellow. I want to see how it looks, because I don't want purely yellow. I want a little bit dark. So I'm going to grab a mixing cup here, and we're going to see how these behave together. I've already kind of shaken them up. They're ready to go almost. I'll have to thin them a little bit because I leave these pretty thick. And I don't need a lot for just that one little piece. Right? That's going to be more than enough to get the coverage on that one part. The glass is pretty small for what you can actually see. A lot of this, you know, you look at this and you go, yeah, that's pretty small little canopy glass. Well, guess what? Half of that is going to be fuselage color. So I've clearly used my orange a little bit more than my yellow. Okay, I want just a little bit. Yeah, like that. That's enough. And let's clean this off. As you guys know, I like to clean off the threads on my paints as best as I can. Now I need a little thinner. So you guys will see, I always grab my hardware store thinner from under my desk here. I actually have two jars, or two of these. One I do all my brush cleaning and stuff with, and the other I do all my mixing with, because I don't want to use dirty thinner to mix colors, right? One is pure, one is not. Okay, so these look like they went well together, and I'm not getting any clogging or anything like that, or any funky little things going on. So I'm going to say yes, you can mix Tamiya X colors with their LPs, and you're not going to have any issues. So I'll show you on my cloth here. I'll just put a little dab here so that you can see this is the color we're going to get. Just a little bit of I'm going to say a dark orange, or sorry, a dark yellow or a light orange. I gotta fire up my air compressor, get that ready, get this ready for painting. You guys want to watch? I can change the camera. Get my camera ready. You can watch the limited amount of spraying I'm going to be doing. I'm going to move my coffee back over here. Pour this in my cup, just as way more than what I need for this one little part. I don't want to go heavy on it. I'm just going to do a light coat. Do a little test spray here. There we go. Yeah, nice and thin. Very, very subtle. That's all I need. That's all I want. Now it's got that yellowy tint to it. Just like that. Right? Thing with the thing. Yeah. Okay. Good job. I think that's all I need, guys. That's good enough. And like I said, I still got lots in my cup. So let's change back. Nice to hear from you, thing with the thing. So, bing, there we go. Now, that is it for that. So let's put this over here so it's out of the way. I wanted to get this done so that I can actually install the canopy on there in a little bit. So let's put my paints away and I'll clean up my airbrush. You guys watching live, you get to watch me go through this whole process of cleaning my brush. You guys who are not watching live, but you're going to watch this on YouTube, I'll cut this out for you.
Moments later.
Airbrush is cleaned and put aside so we can start looking at this stuff. I'll change the camera back to overhead so we can see. Okay, so last time we put on our little pockets on the fuselage, okay, right here and here. You guys might notice I've done a little bit of sanding just to get that smooth on there, so we've got a nice flush surface on both sides. Okay, I did the white in here, you guys saw that. I did a little bit of panel lining in there just with the gray. I think if I did black panel liner it would be a little too much of a contrast, and so I just did gray, so it's very subtle but allows you to kind of see the detail in there. Really there's not a lot, it's just a whole bunch of little squares for detail on the inside of those, and even on the front lining here it's just four little squares that go there with some lines, and that's the only literally the only detail in there. But yeah, okay, so we got that done. So the next thing was doing, they say if you're going to be putting the bait, your bomb doors closed, then put those on now. I do have them out here and here, just for the sake of painting. They do fit really nice. They fit in there perfectly and they don't fall off, right? So that is very nice, and I can utilize that for when I actually paint the fuselage. If I can actually put it in there properly, because I'm not gimbaled. Come on. It fits, guys, it really does. There, okay. There, we've got that one in. So that's what it would look like if you're going to glue them closed, okay? Speaking of closed, we can do that with our landing gear too. Or I can drop it on the floor. This goes in there too. And they fit, again, they fit nice, they fit flush. If you wanted to have this thing in flight with all the things all closed up, you can do that. Just like that. And again, it's a tight enough fit that they don't fall out. See? And that's nice. The only exception is the front one. This one is a little bit of a loose fit. Although it does fit perfectly in there. This one will fall out. I found a couple of times. See, like that. This one does fall out. Okay. So this one is the only one that isn't such a tight fit that it won't drop. This will drop out on its own. Okay. So that's something I need to take care of later. Maybe I'll put a piece of tape in there, just kind of wrapped up. I can do this. I'll show you. I'll just kind of roll this up like this and kind of shove it down in there. Maybe I'll trim it here. Trim it down to that width. Put it in here. That down. And now, doink, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't quite sit flush, but that's okay. We got a little bit of a lip. That's fine. So now that's going to stick good enough that it's not going to fall out. Of course, you jerk. Stay. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so anyway, that's that. So the next thing we would do is our bombs. Okay, so we've got this guy. Remember, I had to paint this white. I didn't paint it originally, so I did go and paint it. Okay, and I put the two pieces together. Okay, that's pretty simple right there. You just put those two in there. There's two holes in the bottom. Underneath here, you'll notice it's going to be hard to see now, but right in this spot here underneath, there's an arrow. There's an arrow pointing this way, okay? And they've done that on a few parts, such as this little door here. See that arrow there? There's an arrow right there, face going this direction, okay? See that? If I can do this, and go like this. See that arrow there? Right? So, yeah. So, I painted my bombs green, and all of the bombs actually, and then I assembled them on one of these. Okay? So I have my bombs all assembled on this guy here. Okay? Do this. They're all assembled, all on the rack. Okay. So today we'll do the other side. Okay. So I gotta grab my D. So here's all our bombs. Okay. So let's get these off of here. Now, something I need to do, because these little tabs on all of them, they're going to go into these little slots on here, okay? And they are a tight fit. And of course, I painted these guys green first, and then I did the white. And so this is fairly thick paint on here, so I need to scrape this off on each one, because they've made it a very tight fit, and even kind of chamfer the edge on these a little bit, just to make sure. These are a tight fit. So there's one. Of course, these not only have these are covered in gray primer, and then green paint, and then white paint. Well, not on this side. This one's only got the green paint on it. So this one's only got 2 coats of paint. Okay, there's the other one. It's 2 down. Of course, painting the white over the green was a challenge, because, yeah, white covering an olive drab was a couple of thick coats. Let's do that. You don't have to bother too much about cleaning up the nubs if you've got nubs sticking out, because they just stick through the hole and then you're never going to see them. So not only are you not going to see the nubs, they're not going to interfere with the fitment either, so it doesn't matter. And again, these are a tight fit on there, especially because I've got white paint on them. It's such a tight fit. Now, I didn't try this before, but you know, usually the glue will act as a lubricant and help tight fitting parts. That does help quite a bit, I will say that. Now, they do kind of help you out here. They show you the front view of the bombs as well as the side to give you an idea, because these go in a particular order. Okay, so if we get this thing facing the right way, it can help out in how it all goes together. So we've got 3 that are the same. These are the D1s. Okay, where's my 4th one? Oh, I still got to scrape him off. He was going to hide off somewhere and hope that I forgot about him. But I'm sorry. I did see you, and I do need you. So I can't just leave you all on your own over there. You are integral to what I need, so you can't just go hide off somewhere on your own. Sorry. Okay, so you got 3 D1s, and then you've got a D2 and a D6, and you can tell the bracket that for D6 is way different, right? But you need to make sure where it goes on here. It's a little misleading because it shows the way this one looks and the way this one looks is really, it can be confusing. Okay, but anyway, so we've got this like that. So this little guy over here, I'm going to grab this one first. I learned this from the last one. This was a little bit of a challenge to get this guy in there. If you do him first and he goes into that slot, push him down as far as he goes, just like that. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then we put a D1 right in the middle there, so that's one of these. And as you can see, it is a tight fit to get these in there. Okay, there's D1, and then we get our D6. But before I put the D6 on the outside, I'm going to put another D. The other D1s, they go right there and there, okay? And they kind of go in between. See how they go in between like that? Again, tight fit, but they will go. Now, like I said, if I had put glue on them, that will help with the fitment if you're having issues, if you've put a lot of paint on them like I did. Okay, that does help. There we go. Okay, and finally, this guy here goes on the outside. There we go. Okay, so we've got them all on there. Technically, don't need glue. Like I said, it's such a tight fit that you might not need glue at all. But I'm going to put glue on the bottom side anyway. I'm going to glue them all in. Oh, did you guys see that? This just broke. That's how tight of a fit this is. That this little edge can break. So I'm just going to hold that on there. It cracked on the backside too. So I'm going to hold that for a moment. I don't know if the glue is actually going to hold, but that shows you how fragile this is. That this could actually crack. Okay, So there you go. There's our bomb rack. At least that's the one of them. The other bomb rack we have is this one here. Okay, where we've got the 3 bombs together, like this. Okay, obviously I've painted them already and painted white in between them. Okay, we've got 3 bombs that go along the top. Okay, and I've got my 3 bombs here. Like this. I've already assembled them on this guy. This one's already assembled. Okay. So let's put these ones together. These ones are a simple thing. These ones I am going to use my other glue so that I can use it as a lubricant. Basically, it's pretty simple. You just get these two. Each one of these has two little pegs, and the pegs go into these holes. So just to help out in the assembly, dab of glue on that. Because I painted this white, there could be paint in the holes. The glue, of course, acting as a lubricant, helps slide them in the holes like that. Okay. Let's do this one. Even with glue on it, it's a tight fit. There we go. We're in. Depending on how thick you've painted it, it could be pretty, you might have to push down pretty hard. So there's our 2 side ones. Okay, get that in there. Oops. 2 side ones like that. Okay, and we'll put our 3rd one on the top. Up, give them a push down. Again, I had to paint the white pretty thick on there, so it's a tight push, but it's in there. There we go. We've got our little cluster all together now, just like that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Bombs are done. So we flip the page, and the next step is to actually install the bombs and stuff like that in there. I want to take a look and see. Let's see, now I gotta open these up. Let's take a look and see how this goes. So we can take a look in here, see that arrow, that's supposed to be the front. We line this up in there. I just want to see if I put this in here, am I going to be able to put this door back on? I'd say currently, the way it sits, no. See, it's a tight fit. I think I would be able to, but I didn't put glue on there, so let's get that up. I think I will be able to. It's basically going to sit right flush against it like this. So I'll put this in. I just need to put some glue on it. It is a tight fit, I tell you. Okay, that's pushed down as far as I can get it. So let's do this. Yeah, it fits. Yeah, it makes it kind of fit. Yeah, it's okay. This guy suddenly wants to fall out all the time. Okay, so with that opened up, we're supposed to take this cluster of bombs and put it behind it. It sits much lower, so that's not going to be a problem getting that in there. Okay. Glue on there. Then that sits perfect. Okay. The next thing that goes in this bay is this center piece here. Okay. I'm going to do a test fit on that to see how flush this guy's going to be. Actually, it's not going to work. The bottom of this is actually supposed to be this guy here. Right? The separation in between these doors. So I cannot put this piece in. If I do, where is he? Where is that piece? That's this guy here. Okay, as you can see, we've got the detail on him here, which is that piece right there. So if I put him in there, then guess what's going to happen? I can't put my doors on, right? I'll show you. Okay, which way does he go? He goes this direction. This side faces front. He goes right there. Again, tight fit in the hole. Just like that. So that sits flush on there. So now the doors can't go on, right? Now, could I get around that? Could I cut the doors and put one here, one here? I could. But even at that, I don't know how tight of a fit it would be. And I'd rather not play around with it. I don't need to put this in right now. I just need to remember it's such a tight fit. I'm going to shave off the white paint on this. Got it on both sides. Such a unnecessarily tight fit on this. Okay. I'm sure, you know, there's Academy, like I said, Academy kits are kind of hit and miss with me. So I need to remember to paint the edge of this the same color as the fuselage, right? That'll be later. Okay. So for now, that's it. Next we'll be putting on our bay doors, but that's going to be later. For now, I'm just going to put this in like that. Okay. And then we have another clusters on the back. So let's get this piece off. You are such a pain trying to get in there. So we get one of our, it's kind of unfortunate. Why do I have two clusters, but yet I only got one of these? So pay attention to the arrows that go to the front. And it goes in there and drops down inside. Okay, just like that. So let's put some glue on there. There and there. Making sure I've got press down all the way. So there's our bombs in there. Okay. In that particular one. And I'll put my door back on. Just like that. And now they're hidden in there. Alright. So that's that. Next would be the bay doors, but again, I'm not going to do that right now because I got to paint my fuselage. Then we've got our landing gear bay doors. Of course, we're not doing that. We have our landing gear. Okay. I don't want to start with the landing gear yet. What I need to do is some other parts of our fuselage and stuff like that. So I'm not sure which. I think that is it for this particular manual. That is it for manual 1. Which means we got to go to manual 2. Okay. Manual 2, we're going to start on our engines. And we'll get those put together. Okay, so we'll put our fuselage aside for now. And we'll get to our engines. So our engines are off of our D trees. We've got 2 D trees. And then it looks like our E. So let's see here what we've got to do. So we've got our main body here. Okay, there's one. And might as well get the other one off because we're doing 2 of them, right? Those, and we need D5. Oh, that is D. We got to get our B tree. Was not expecting that. Okay. We need these guys, B6 and 7. I don't think it makes any difference whether which side. It's just probably, there might be a difference like top and bottom. Okay. What else do we need? We need E, we need our nozzles, but we'll do those later. But we need this part. This is A, so we got to assemble these. Okay, so let's go B, 15, 18, and 21. So let's put these up here. B, 15. $15, 18, and 21. Okay, let's do these first. Don't know if nubs are going to be a factor on this. So we're going to take 15, 18, and 21 and put them together. So we put this like this, and then we go like this. These have little notches and stuff, so it's so that you don't screw it up. And then you put this like this, because obviously, if I'm going to try and put this one on this side, it just ain't going to fit, right? So they are specific to each side, and they go like that. And what I'm seeing is a possible issue in painting in between there. Maybe. But I actually don't think so. I think that'll be fine. So let's put some glue. It's kind of unfortunate. I've got two sets of bombs that I painted and I don't need them. like at all. So there we go. There's that. But that one is A, and that goes into this one. So let's see if I can figure out which way this goes. These are obviously lefts and rights, right? And of course I wasn't paying any attention, so I don't know which is which. It looks like they show you here this kind of situation, which kind of looks like this. What is B6? That's these guys. These do not look any different at all. Oh yes, B6 has a funny little pattern in it. It's got this little pattern right here, and they show that right there. Well, I guess they both do. So that's B7, this is B6. And that means we're going to line it up. But this doesn't line up, does it? Oh, it does too. It lines up here and here. So let's see what the other one would look like. Yeah, see that this one won't line up here. This got the little thing way out over here into nowhere. So that's this one and that's this one. Okay. So we take this and we put it in here like this, just like that. Okay, so let's put some glue on that. And then we'll put our two halves together. Just do a dry fit here. Yep, that works. Okay. But I need to clean up my nubs on these first. I think what I'm going to do is kind of get these assembled, but I'm not going to glue them onto the plane yet. I'm not ready to assemble these. I put glue on them and I'm not ready. Now I'm ready. There we go. All right. And then we've got this guy here. We've got him the right way around. Where is our... He's going to go like that. But I got to, again, clean up the nubs. 1, 2. Clean these up. You can see, it gives you an idea of how good our razor file does at just shaving down only what's necessary. It's an awesome job. I love this little tool. Okay, again, get it the right way around. Basically what I'm seeing is our little dot up here is the one that's going to be facing, I guess, facing down, because that little pattern that they've got it molded in there does that. Okay, so I could put glue on this surface, or I can just use my thin. I'll just use the thin. Get her all around the edge. There we go. Okay. So there's one engine done. Okay. One engine done. Let's do the other one. First of all, we're going to clean these up. Get our nubs nice and smooth. This all finished. This cleaned up. There we go, that's nice. All right, now we have the other three pieces to do. Those are on this sprue. So that's these other ones. Okay. Right. Need to clean these, otherwise just it's not going to fit right, so you got to make sure they're smooth. Okay, so I already know what I'm doing from the last part. He goes on here. Of course, doesn't fit. And you see, that's a perfect example of what you're going to run into if you try and put the wrong one on the wrong side. So you got to have your sides correct. Okay. So there's that one. They go together in this, like so. Here. Just on the back side here. Put our two halves together. Like that. And there we go. And finally, this guy here, just like that. And that engine is together. Again, I'm not putting the nozzles on. I do have them, they're painted, they're all ready to go. but I'm not going to be putting them on yet. Okay, that is our nozzles. Okay, now the engines, they would go right here. I don't know if it's noticeable. It probably is noticeable. It's going to have lefts and rights here, whether it fits or not. And this is obviously the wrong side because it would have to go like this to fit on there, and that's not correct, right? So it's going to go like this, and then line that up with the hole back here. Like that. It's a tight fit, but there you go. I could actually just glue them on, but we got a little bit of an issue trying to get paint up inside there, and that would be, I don't like that. So therefore I'm not going to glue them on yet. We're going to leave them off for now. Okay, and in fact the holes on there is just a little too big for, or too tight for my liking. I'm going to just do this and preemptively open up this one just a little bit. I want the holes just not quite so tight. That's better. I almost would like it if they want to fall off. Yeah, see, now that's it. But getting paint up in there and in that little crevice, that's going to be too hard to do. So I'm going to paint that off of the plane. Right. I'm just going to do a test fit on this one too. Yeah, it's tight. They are a tight fit. I don't know why Academy's really wants these things all fitting very tight. Another thing I'd like to do is try and clean up my seam, our parting line here, and get this a little smoother on our edge so that this line is less noticeable. I could put a little putty in there, but I've actually got a bit of a step there. It's not perfectly smooth. So it's little things like that that I would like to look a little better, especially on the outside edge. Or I could just take this and just kind of clean that up a little bit. Clean up that edge. Get that a little smoother. It's not a huge deal. I mean, this is a dark colored plane, so that edge is not going to be super noticeable. But it's one of those little subtle things, you know, that if I can get away with it, if I can do a little bit of work in fixing that up. You can hear that when you don't hear that sound, then it's smooth. When you suddenly hear, that means it's working on an edge, right? So the tool actually tells you what it's doing. That's another thing that's really nice about this razor file. It tells you that it's actually filing down an edge for you. So when it goes quiet, you know it's suddenly smooth, right? That's the beauty of it. Anyway, that's that. So there's our engines. Let's flip the page over and see what the manual would have us do next. They want us to put B13 down on the bottom into our slot here. B13, I think it's some kind of a radar jamming pod. I saw it here. B13, this little guy here, right there, that looks like a radar pod. They're not jamming, but it's probably the laser guidance. Or not, maybe it's not laser. I don't know. I've seen bigger versions on my 1/48 scale kits, and I believe it is actually a radar pod. I believe it's got that little glass and the camera in there. Of course, in this 144 scale, it's pretty tiny. Anyway, it's going to go right here, just like this. So we'll put that on. while I'm at it, I'm actually going to pull our door off of here. Because I used the thin cement, I don't want to accidentally get thin cement right in there and then glue that door on in that corner. So just making sure this doesn't get permanently glued on. Okay, so we've got our little radar pod there. Okay, flip our page. Oh, our tail. We're going to work on the tail now. That's this. We're going to put our tail together. So, let's grab our D again. I love grabbing my D. That's actually the last part. Oh no, we've got this little guy here, whatever he's for. I'm just going to do this. D8. And that D tree is done. D tree done. Get our wing off of there. And our other D8. Okay. The double D's are done. The coffee's gone cold. The other ones, we got our B17. Isn't that another bomber? This guy here. And then we got our main tail. And then we've got a little nub that goes on the end, B5. Bing. Okay. And that's almost done, our B tree done. The last thing we got here is just these B3 and 4, which I'm going to also, in similar fashion as the D, get those off, and that would be the end of our B tree. It's still finished too, which is telling me we're getting to, you know, we're getting close to the end of our build. When you start getting parts off of the trees and the trees are empty, it gives you an indication that you're getting close to the end. At least of the assembly anyway, right? Sometimes that just means, yeah, the assembly's done, but you still got a lot of work to do. Something I would have liked to have had was like maybe have the actual tail fins as a different piece, because I'd like to know, does this piece actually move on the real plane? Right? Does this little section move along with this one, or is this the only section that moves? That's something I would like to know, just out of my own curiosity, right? So this guy has a little tab that line it up and down, just like that. Okay, that's nice and simple. Okay, so he's on there, done. We've got our side. Why they chose this side to suddenly, hey, let's put this on. Let's make him put this side on, but not the other side. You know, like this side's on. So why are you making me put this side on? It goes like that, right? And of course I didn't put any glue on it, so I want to put some glue on there. Just a couple of dabs of glue in there. Just like that. And that. That. It's weird things like this that I don't understand with the model manufacturers. Because now, like, you look at the side that they molded, there's no parting lines. It looks like it's a proper piece. But now I've got a big parting line going along here, right? And it's just weird. So that's where I got to get my putty in. I like the Vallejo plastic putty. And I'm going to put it along here. And clean my tip off here. And I'll run it in along here. Like that. Use a Q-tip. Get in there. Push that along. There we go, that helps out that line. There we go. Now it's not so weird. Okay, so that's that done, and Q-tip done. So now we do, actually do have B3 and 4 got to go on the sides here. These sides. So if we go to this side, B3 goes here. Okay. B3 goes on this side, like that. Okay. B4 goes on the other side. That. That means my laundry's done. Okay, so B3 and 4 are on each side there. And then we have our fins. They don't appear to be left and right. They look like they are the same either way. Yeah, they are just mirror images of each other. So it doesn't matter which side you put, but it is going to be a tight fit either way. There we go, there's one. And 2. Very tight fit, which is good. So there's our whole tail fin slash control surface all assembled. Okay, and then simply just put it on the tail. Can you tell which piece is primered and which isn't? Now this does go fit, and it fits very flush and very nice. That is a really nice fit. And I'm actually going to use my regular thin on that. Just hold this like that. Go around it. that for a sec, or I could just sit it like this and let that gravity do its job. And that's that. And the next step would be putting on the nose cone and the canopy. But I'm not going to do the nose cone. I'm going to leave it off because I'm going to paint the nose cone black, and then I can just put it on later after I've painted the whole fuselage and everything. But our canopy we can do as one last thing before I go. Okay, so let's grab our canopy. Remember I painted this earlier, right? So it's got this little tab that's supposed to go in underneath, but you're going to have to clean off your nub. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to fit proper. It's probably already going to be a very tight fit. There we go, just like that. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of a line all the way around it. So, we can... It's unfortunate that, you know, you're not going to see that much in there. My paint job is not that great. I wonder if I could clean that up a little bit, because it's not really super clear through there. It's a little... It's not clear. It's not clean. I'm going to try buffing it. I'm going to try buffing that real quick here. Let me grab my Dremel. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to take my polishing compound onto that. If I wind up making it so that it's just a little cleaner, or even if it takes off some of that on the inside, I'm okay with that. I just want that little bit of a tint, and I don't care if it's totally gone. If I wind up buffing it all out and totally take the paint off, I'm okay. It's fine. It's fine. So let's just do this. Let's see. And try and get this a bit of a... That's a little bit better. I took a little bit off, but it's not that bad. Clean this out here. I took a little bit of the paint off, but again, I don't really care too much. Okay. Like I said, I took a little bit off here. It's not quite as yellow anymore, but putting it on here, yeah, it's a little better. I like that it's just got a little bit of a yellow tint now, not much, and that's good. I'm happier with that. So let's glue our canopy on. There we go. Okay, so that's glued on, and that's where we're going to say done for the day. Okay? And that's going to be it for now, guys. We got quite a bit done today, actually. Next, I think, is going to be a bunch of painting, really. I found out our D8s, our two last little D pieces here. They're actually going to go back here into these little notches, and then we've got A9, our little fins are going to go here and here. We'll do that next time, and then we're going to paint and get our fuselage painted up the colors that it's actually supposed to be. But that is where I'm going to leave it for today, and I'm going to call that done, at least for today anyway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the comment there, thing with the thing, which, you know, said the one comment and then disappeared. That's okay. I invite you guys to hit that like button if you like this stuff, and leave a comment down below. And also check out in the description box, you're going to see a bunch of links to my Instagram and Twitch and stuff like that. Go check those out. And if you can follow me on Twitch, you could check out my Instagram, where I upload still pictures of everything that I've built in the past. Once I get it completed, I take a few pictures and I upload it on my Instagram. You can check those out if you're interested. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below there, guys. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a special little series coming up. Me with my fiance building a model for her first time ever, and show you guys that through some simple instructions, really, and just following some of the techniques that I use, you yourself can make a decent looking model that looks good when it's sitting on your shelf. You don't need to be a professional. So anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.